Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to our Srimad Bhagavatam Stutis series. Today is a very important shloka about the topic of association. Shloka number 57, chapter 24, canto 4. Shanardhenapi tulaye
Shanardhenapi tolaye
na swargam na punarbhavam
aswargam na punarbhavam
bhagavat sangi sangasya
bhagavat sangi sangasya
martyanam kimutashishaha.
hatyanam kimutashishaha.
Word for word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Prana ardhena,
Shana ardhena,
by half a moment,
by half a moment,
api, even, tulaye, compare, na, never, swargam, heavenly planets, na, neither, apunaha bhavam, merging into the Supreme, Bhagavat, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sangi, associate, Sangasya, one who takes advantage of associating, Martyanam, of the conditioned soul, Kim uta, what is there, Ashishaha, blessings. Translation. If one by chance associates with a devotee,
If one by chance associates with a devotee,
even for a fraction of a moment,
he
no longer is subject to attraction by the results of karma or jnana. What interest then can he have in the benedictions of the demigods?
What interest then can he have in the benedictions of the demigods,
who are subject to the laws of birth and death? Prabhupada writes in the purport, out of the three kinds of men, the karmis, jnanis, and bhaktas, the bhakta is described herein as the most exalted. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati has sung Kaivalyam Narakayate Tridasha Pur Akasha Pushpayate from the Chaitanya Chandramrita. The word Kaivalya means to merge into the effulgence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the word Tridasha Pur refers to the heavenly planets where the demigods live. Thus, for a devotee, Kaivalya Sukha, or merging into the existence of the Lord, is hellish, because the bhakta considers it suicidal to lose his individuality and merge into the effulgence of Brahman. A bhakta always wants to retain his individuality in order to render service to the Lord. Indeed, he considers promotion to the upper planetary systems to be no better than a will of the wisp. Will of the wisp means like a fantasy. Temporary material happiness holds no value for a devotee. The devotee is in such an exalted position that he is not interested in the actions of karma or jnana. The resultant actions of karma and jnana are so insignificant to a devotee situated on the transcendental platform that he is not in the least interested in them. So you can dangle all kinds of material benedictions to a devotee, be it moksha or be it material happiness, but the devotee is least bit concerned about it. Bhakti yoga is sufficient to give the bhakta all happiness. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.6, Yayatma Suprasidati. So what is the shloka Prabhupada is referring to in 1.26? 1.2.6. Savai pumsam paro dharmaha yato bhaktir adokshache ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. So in this shloka, the supreme occupation or dharma for all humanity is that by which men can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendent Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. One can be fully satisfied simply by devotional service, and that is the result of association with the devotee. Without being blessed by a pure devotee, no one can be fully satisfied, nor can anyone understand the transcendental position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in very stark terms, Lord Shiva is clearly indicating here that a mere moment of association with a pure devotee means you will lose interest in benefits of doing karma kanda or karma yoga or even jnana yoga. So if he is losing interest in karma kanda and jnana yoga, then why would he care about what the demigods would have to offer? And what is Lord Shiva saying? Even the benedictions of the demigods themselves are subject to the laws of birth and death. So essentially, in this particular shloka, Lord Shiva is emphasizing the importance of even a moment's association with a pure devotee. But association has to be understood in its proper context. Association begins with physical association, because without physical association, there is no association at all. But what does this association mean? Let's look at examples. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had so many disciples. Many of his disciples had prolonged association with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Our dear beloved Srila Prabhupada met Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur just 6 or 7 times, and that too very briefly. So, what is the position of those godbrothers of Srila Prabhupada who had prolonged association with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur compared to our Srila Prabhupada? Just a moment's association, if you could look at it that way, just 6 or 7 times meeting with a exalted Bhagavata, that completely transformed Srila Prabhupada and made him an empowered disciple. So much so that the godbrothers of Srila Prabhupada were astounded how much empowerment Srila Prabhupada got just through associating with his Guru Maharaj 6 or 7 times. So one is physical association, it is necessary. But even if you look at it that way, Srila Prabhupada had more than 5,000 disciples. Are all disciples equal in their empowerment, in what they're doing for their Guru Maharaj? Perhaps not. Some of the disciples actually quit the movement after Prabhupada left this planet. But a handful of disciples became so empowered. They are doing phenomenal things on behalf of their Guru Maharaj. So we need to understand that association is not just physically spending more and more time with your Guru. It is understanding the mind and heart of your Guru and doing everything to please him. So if you've understood your Guru Maharaj's instructions, nothing can stop you. You have to be really, really focused on Guru Bhakti. I was talking to His Grace Varnakrishna Prabhu about Guru Bhakti a few days back. I was telling him, even in the Mayavadi philosophy, they say, without Guru Bhakti, you will not get Ishvara Bhakti. Of course, for them, Ishvara is or Shiva. So they are also saying the same thing. If you have no Guru Bhakti, you will not make advancement spiritually. So somewhere, Bhakti is the central focus. You can't get Bhakti to Krishna unless you have Bhakti to Guru. So fidelity to Guru Maharaj's instructions becomes an important aspect of our life. Of course, we can consider ourselves very, very fortunate if we are able to serve our Guru Maharaj's instructions for a long period of time and with complete dedication. So here we need to understand what association really means. One aspect is the physical association. The other aspect is understanding the mind and heart of Guru and being able to follow through. If we're not able to contribute in that way, then it's our misfortune that we're not able to serve our Guru Maharaj that way. So in the Nectar of Instruction, there's this wonderful shloka that talks about association. Dadati pratigruhnati guhyam akhyati richati bhunkte bhojayate chaiva shadvidham priti lakshanam. So this association, it says, if we actually want to make advancement in devotional service, this association, the foundation of it is, giving prasadam and accepting prasadam. Giving in charity and accepting charity. That creates the foundation. But actually, the crux of the matter is revealing one's mind in confidence and inquiring confidentially. That is where association actually cements its progress. Because the other two, charity and prasadam, are external. But it is when you are able to reveal your mind and heart to a fellow devotee and through that make progress, then that is actually association, right? So even if you go to your Guru Maharaj, you should be able to reveal your heart to your Guru Maharaj. You should not be thinking, let me conceal things that are not so good with me because I don't want to disappoint my Guru Maharaj. You have to reveal yourself because that is where you get the mercy. So brief association. We have so many examples in Shastra of brief association transforming the lives of certain devotees. You have the example of the king Rahugana, who was quite arrogant. Just a few hours of association with Jadabharat, and he became a devotee himself. Valmiki, a few hours of association with what is the sage who gives him the name? He asks him to chant Rama, but then he chants Marama Rama. I forget the name of one of the Saptarishis, actually, because Valmiki meets all of the Saptarishis. What happened is he was actually born into a Brahmana family, but at some point in time there was a great famine and his family was suffering for food. So he took to stealing, robbing from those who were traveling through the forest. And in this way, he became degraded. He met all of the 7 rishis, and each of the rishis told him, what you're doing is wrong. You need to mend your ways. So it is actually that Pulaha rishi who gives him that mantra to meditate upon Brahman. His own Valmiki becomes so engrossed in meditating that an anthill grew around his body. And when the sages came and found this transcendental sound emanating from the anthill, they realized it was Valmiki. And they said, since you have achieved such great siddhi, that is the reason he was given the name Valmika. The word Valmika means anthill. And so they blessed him. The 7 sages blessed him, saying, you will become well known in the world as Valmiki. So just a mere moment's association and hearing from the lips of pure devotees can transform your life. When Srila Vyasadeva was depressed after writing and documenting all of the Vedic scriptures, his spiritual master has to come and give him his association. So we come back to this association. Without sadhu sangha association, we cannot make progress. And that is very, very important for us to know. So in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says in the 9th shloka of the 10th chapter, this Chatushloki Gita, the second, 8th, 10.8 is the first one. 10.9, the Lord says, Matchitta matkata prana bodhayantah parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti sharamanti cha. What are the devotees doing when they get together? They are discussing about the Lord, His transcendental activities, His pastimes, His instructions. Therefore, the Lord says, the thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service. And they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another. And the Lord says, conversing about me, parasparam. This is among themselves in a community of devotees. The subject matter is always going to be the Supreme Lord. If the subject matter is not the Supreme Lord, then you're only doing prajalpa even as a devotee. So in the devotee community, we try our best to practice this talking about the Lord. There is a wonderful shloka that we all recited when we were doing the Kapiladeva Stuti to his mother. I'll just read that because that same point is emphasized in an earlier canto, what Lord Shiva is emphasizing here in this current shloka. That Satam prasangan mama virya samvidah bhavanti hritkarna rasayanah katvaha tadjoshanada shvapavargavartmani shraddharatir bhaktiranukrameshyate. Yeah, the Lord is saying, the association of pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. So it is not only pleasing to the ear, it is also pleasing to the heart. And the more you hear and the more you associate, so everything begins with a little bit of Shraddha, then Sadhu Sangha, then you yourself will start Bhajana Kriya. When you do this Bhajana Kriya, then obviously you're going to slowly lose interest in other things that were preoccupying your time earlier. But why will you give up something that is of material interest to you? Unless you found something else that is giving you much more happiness and much more joy, much more bliss, much more peace in your life. And therefore you keep coming back for that service. So in the association of pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes and activities of the Lord are very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. And the more you hear, you're actually cultivating knowledge. So by cultivating such knowledge, you become advanced on the path of liberation. And thereafter, Kapiladeva says, he is free, and then his attraction becomes fixed. Only then real devotion and devotional service begins. There's one more nice shloka about the fundamentals of association. For that, we have to go to the 11th canto, 3rd chapter, 21st shloka. Tasmad gurum prabadyeta jignasuhu shreya uttamam shabdhe pare cha nishnatam brahmanyupassamashrayam. Here, the translation is as follows. Therefore, any person who seriously desires real happiness must seek a bona fide spiritual master and take shelter of him by initiation. So both the guru and the disciple have to have qualifications. That qualification is mentioned in the very first shloka of the Nectar of Instruction. Therefore, any person who seriously desires real happiness must seek a bona fide spiritual master and take shelter of him by initiation. The qualification of the bona fide guru is that he has realized the conclusions of the scriptures by deliberation and is able to convince others of these conclusions. So we have to approach such a Tattvadarshi as Krishna instructs us in the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Such great personalities who have taken shelter of the Supreme Godhead, leaving aside all material considerations, should be understood to be bona fide spiritual masters. So for a devotee, taking association of other devotees is very important, but ultimately you have to take the shelter of the lotus feet of Guru. And from there begins your journey of Guru Bhakti. So Guru Bhakti and Krishna Bhakti are intertwined. That is why Prabhupada says they are like the parallel lines of a railway track. One without the other is not possible. Without Krishna, you cannot get the grace of Guru. Without the grace of Guru, you cannot achieve Krishna Prema. Therefore, here in this particular shloka, Lord Shiva is saying, even a momentary association with a pure devotee, even a momentary association, he is no longer subject to the attractions by the results of karma or jnana. So what interest can he have in the benedictions of the demigods who are subject to the laws of birth and death? So Prabhupada has written so many books, so many purports, so many lectures of Prabhupada's that are recorded. We can even take the association of Srila Prabhupada through his lectures, through his purports, through his books, through his instructions. So we are not disconnected from our Acharya in any way, shape or form. The Acharya's instructions are evergreen. They are there for us to follow. So what does association ultimately mean? One is you have to find somebody who's superior to you in your bhakti practice to take their association. But association means you have to be willing to receive it. I heard a very nice phrase that you have to be an anugraha patra. You have to create that receptacle to receive that mercy of the spiritual master. And that begins with faith, Shraddha. So if you don't want to become an Anugraha Patra, it doesn't matter how much association you take, you will not be inspired at all to change your life. Such was Prabhupada's grace and mercy upon us that he has given us such lovely, wonderful instructions so that we can change the way we are leading our lives and make progress on the path of bhakti. And maybe one day, by the grace of Guru and Vaishnavas and Krishna, we will also achieve that state of Krishna Prema.
If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification. If you'd like to join our classes every day, please check the details in the description section of this video. We look forward to serving you.